What is up, Washington football fans? What's good, Washington fans? I actually just found this at my mom's. This is an autographed John Thompson basketball here from back in the day. I remember this. My dad got me this. This was pretty cool stuff. If you can see, autograph from John Thompson. This is pretty cool stuff. I forgot I had that, but let's get back to the task at hand. Let's get back to Washington football. So roster cuts have been made. Of course, the most surprising cut is probably Cam Sims, Sean Davis. Who else got cut? Aaron Colvin. That's not much as a surprise. Trying to think who else got released that was much as that was really a surprise. Not many guys. Trey Quinn was a surprise. I would say Sean Davis, Trey Quinn, and that's really it. Honestly, Hale Henches was released, and a big surprise is Alex Smith will be on the active roster. Kind of surprised, kind of not. Shout out to Alex Smith for bouncing back from the injury in 2018. I heard he participated in 11-on-11 since Wednesday. There were closed practices in the bubble that the media was not really able to see, and he was able to participate and stand tall. Ron Rivera did say that Alex Smith, he would be confident playing him week 1 against the Eagles. The Eagles look very decimated. They look really decimated. They released 2 of their corners. Sidney is shooting off fireworks for some reason in my neighborhood. Sidney Jones was released, and they released Rasul Douglas. Keep in mind that we were the second worst team last year. So the waiver wire, we get the second earliest dibs on a player. Like, so if a good player gets waived or released from a different team, we can claim them off waivers very, very quickly. The only team that's in front of us is the Bungles. Aaron Colvin was released. Trying to think of some big names. Cam Sims, that's really it. But we can move on to the guys that are on the roster that made the roster. Of course, Steven Montez didn't make the roster. Kyle Allen is the second string quarterback. Alex Smith is third. And this list actually shows the depth chart as well. Antonio Gibson will be the starting running back. Peyton Barber is second. Bryce Love is third. And J.D. McKissick is fourth. But J.D. McKissick, I think he's going to get more snaps kind of from before Bryce Love to start off the season. I think Bryce Love will eventually possibly could take a starting role on this roster. But J.D. McKissick's been getting a lot of burn in practice. They've been raving and ranting, and they love J.D. McKissick. And you notice, actually, the big notes as well. I'm reading from Kyle Stackpole, beat reporter from Washington. Says that all 7 draft picks made the team. That's not always the case in the previous years. All 7 draft picks. Cameron Curl made it. James Smith-Williams, the defensive end out of NC State. Nate Orchard was released, and I love Nate Orchard, the angry Orchard, because he helped win a big game against the Panthers last year. I think he had like 2 sacks in that game, and he blocked a punt against the Giants. So I like Nate Orchard. He'll probably be on the practice squad. There's going to be 16 guys on the practice squad instead of 10. So there's some new rules in 2020, especially with the virus going on. So they know that they need more players on the roster. David Bada, the Germany guy, he might be on the practice squad. He was released today as well. And then, once again, we go over the rules of Reuben Foster. If you are placed on injury reserve before 4 p.m., before the 53-man roster was announced, you're on season-ending IR. They cannot bring you back week 3, week 5, week 8. They cannot bring you back. Once you're placed on IR before 4 p.m., roster cut deadline time, you're done for the year. And Reuben Foster is done for the season. Now, Reuben Foster, I wish him the best. They did not pick up his 5th-year option. I already talked about him in the previous video that I made. But I just, right now, if I had to put money down, I don't think Ron's going to bring Reuben Foster back next season. It looks like Ron really loves the guys that he brought in, and he's just not a fan of the old regime guys, or a lot of them, like Trey Quinn, who's a Jay Gruden guy. Adrian Peterson, let him go. He picked Cameron Curl over some guys. You know, Sean Davis is this guy that he brought in. That's a $2 million cap hit. But Ron Rivera, all the new guys that he brought in, he's rolling with those guys. He's going with Khaleke Hudson over Reuben Foster. He's going with his guys over the previous regime. So that's what it looks like. Isaiah Wright was the only undrafted free agent to make the roster at any position. And he's a speedy guy. He's an electric guy. I love watching his highlights at Temple. He's electric, man. I wish we had a preseason so we could actually see him do some damage on special teams and catching the football. 10 offensive linemen made the roster. Cornelius Lucas made it. Josh Garnett, the guard from Ohio State, who was a former first-round pick. I think he went to Ohio State. He was a former first-round pick, and he got released. I'm trying to think who else. Cornelius Lucas made the roster. Aaron Colvin got cut once again. And we'll go over the guys on the roster one more time. So we'll break it down. Wide receiver position, we'll just break it down like that. Antonio Gandy Golden made it. Steven Sims Jr., of course. Terry McLaurin, oh my gosh, Terry McLaurin made the roster. I can't believe it's like now. Dontrell Inman, he'll be wearing number 80. He made the roster. Isaiah Wright made the roster. So we're going to have 5 wide receivers on. And Ron said the only reason why he kept 5 wide receivers is because he wants to use Antonio Gibson in the slot position. He wants to use J.D. McKissick in the slot position. So that's why I think J.D. McKissick is going to get more burn than Bryce Love to start out. But Bryce Love definitely will get a good amount of playing time throughout the season as it goes on. Notable cuts, like I said, Trey Quinn, Cam Sims, those were the notable cuts. Jordan Veazey was released. I think he'll be on the practice squad. Actually, he was put on IR. And Jonathan Johnson was released. He'll probably be on the practice squad as well. Logan Thomas, then we'll go to the tight ends. Logan Thomas will be starting. Marcus Ball is a second-string guy. Jeremy Sprinkle. Richard Rodgers, his dad could not save him from making the roster, who's an assistant coach. So Richard Rodgers was released. Hale Hinches was released. I hope Hale Hinches makes the practice squad or is put on the practice squad. I just think he has a lot of talent. I think he's better than Jeremy Sprinkle. I think it's not hard to be better than Jeremy Sprinkle, but I just think Hale Hinches is faster. He's more mobile, and he can do more with the football when he catches the football, for one. So that's the tight end position. We only kept 3 tight ends, 5 wide receivers, and 4 running backs. Offensive line, we kept 10 guys. That's where we're kind of thin and weak at the position in the offensive lineman and left tackle. We're pretty weak. It's pretty scary. It is. I'm not going to lie to you. Sadiq Charles is probably going to be placed on IR tomorrow. He'll probably be brought back in week 5. Week 8. Keith Ishmael made it. That was a draft pick. 4th, 5th round draft pick. Wes Martin made it. He'll be starting at left guard. Wes Schweitzer made it. That was a free agent signing. David Sharp, the guy we traded for, he made it at left tackle. Chase Rouillet made the roster, of course. He'll be starting at center. Jaron Christian, looks like he'll be starting at left tackle. He made the roster. Brandon Sheriff, of course, the perennial Pro Bowl right guard, made the roster, of course. And Morgan Moses, as long as he don't talk to the media, I'm fine with him. Sometimes he has a false start waiting to happen. Sadiq Charles, of course, made the roster. And Cornelius Lucas at left tackle made the roster. So that's 10 guys on the roster right there. Jonathan Allen at defensive tackle, he made the roster. And Deron Payne, of course, Tim Settle, Matt Ioannidis. Those are the easy picks right there. Defensive end, Ryan Anderson, Montez Sweat. Actually, there was trade talks about Ryan Anderson. I did not want to trade Ryan Anderson. Everybody's like, oh, let's trade him. There's no point in trading. You're not going to get anything higher than the 6th or 7th round pick from Ryan Anderson. Let's be realistic. He just hasn't done enough. Now, he had flashes last season, but his rookie year didn't do anything. It just hasn't done enough to really make anybody want a 4th or 5th round pick. If you could barely get a 4th round pick for Ryan Kerrigan, what makes you think you're going to get a 4th or 3rd round pick for Ryan Anderson? You're just not going to get much. You might as well keep Ryan Anderson. Just keep a good rotation going. Keep the guys fresh. Keep Montez Sweat fresh. Keep Ryan Kerrigan fresh. Ryan Anderson's really good. I think Ryan Anderson can do some damage this year. James Smith-Williams was the surprise. Nate Orchard got cut. James Smith-Williams is the surprise guy making the roster. Jordan Belfort was released. Jordan Belfort was a guy who was drafted last year. And, they like Jordan Belfort, his versatility. He can play defensive tackle and defensive end. And he's a Ron Rivera guy. He's a draft pick from Ron Rivera. I mean, I like Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort had I think he had like 10 sacks at Oklahoma State. I wish we would have kept him, honestly, but he'll probably be on a practice squad. And, of course, the Predator Chase Young makes the roster. At linebacker, Khaleke Hudson makes the roster. Kevin Pierre-Louis makes the roster. Sean Deion Hamilton, John Bostic will probably be starting. Cole Holcomb makes the roster. He'll probably start as well. And, of course, the veteran captain, Thomas Davis Sr., will be starting as well. He makes the roster. Notable cuts from the linebacker position is really Josh Harvey Clemens already opted out before the season started. And Reuben Foster being put on injured reserve. And then that's really it at the linebacker position. I know Ryan B didn't make the roster. He's always getting cut every training camp, every preseason he gets released. He plays well in the preseason, but he's always put on the practice squad or getting released. At cornerback, we have Jimmy Moreland. Ronald Darby is going to be starting. Fabian Moreau will probably be starting, and Kendall Fuller has not been practicing. So that is a concern. Danny Johnson makes the roster. He was kind of a surprise. He made it over Aaron Colvin. And Greg Stroman has been playing really, really well in practice in the training camp, the guy at Virginia Tech. Like I said, Aaron Colvin did not make the roster. We could pick up Sidney Jones from the Eagles. You know, I know we picked up a former Eagle in Wendell Smallwood last year. I think we're going to do the same thing. I would not be surprised if we signed Sidney Jones tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. I would not be surprised if that happens, especially since we're second on the waiver wire. I could definitely see us signing Sidney Jones. I would not be surprised. I think we need another corner because we just don't know what's going on with Kendall Fuller. I think Kendall Fuller will be playing week 1, but we just don't know for sure. I like Jimmy Moreland a lot. Darby's been playing a lot better. We just need a little bit more depth at the defensive back or cornerback position, in my opinion. Safety, DeShazier Everett. Of course, Landon Collins, he's changing his number to number 26 since Adrian Peterson got released, and that was his number in college. Troy Apke will be starting at the safety position, and Cameron Curl is a surprise making the team since Sean Davis got cut. He was the 7th-round pick. Ron Rivera loves Cameron Curl a lot. Says he has a lot of potential, and he has a knack for getting the football or being near the football. So we'll see what Cameron Curl can do. And, of course, special teams is Dustin Hopkins, the all-pro Tress Way, and long snapper Nick Sundberg. So that is your 53-man roster. You guys let me know what you guys think about that. We'll try. I don't know if I can go live today, but we'll definitely be going live Tuesday. We can talk more about the roster and the week 1 matchup with Philly. I may be doing a YouTube video with a Philly YouTuber. So please stay tuned with that for that. His name is Philly Mike, Philly Talk Podcast. That's my guy. We went live before, so we will be doing a battle YouTube, basically talking about each team, you know, because what is really going on with the Eagles, man? I can't even name a corner on the roster other than what's his name, Darius Slay and Nickel Roby Coleman, and who else they got? Rodney McLeod. He's a safety. You know, they let go of Malcolm Jenkins. It's like, who do they really have for defensive backs? But I guess we'll get to talk about that and learn about Philly and who they really have, because they're trying to trade Alshon Jeffrey. It's like, what is really going on in Philly? They're looking really bad right now. But one thing I will say about the offense is there's a lot of speed right now. Gibson is explosive. J.D. McKissic's explosive. Bryce Love is still getting back from the injury. And all the receivers have speed. Steve Sims, Terry McLaurin, Isaiah Wright. Dontrell Inman is more of a possession guy. Antonio Gandy-Golden's more of a possession guy. But you got a lot of speedy guys that are very versatile. That's what Ron Rivera wants. Tight end is still, it's still on paper is not looking good. But, it has potential. I'll say that. Ron Rivera likes to having young guys. He wants to build this from the ground up. So I get it. Wasn't the biggest fan. I'm still not a fan of the AP cut, but it is what it is. We got to move on. And, we'll see what happens from there, man. David Sharp made the roster. Like I said, that's an obvious move. Wes Schweitzer. There was a guard who was put on IR. I forgot his name. I can't even remember his name. What the freak is his name, man? I can't remember his name. Not Josh Garnett, but it was somebody, man. I can't remember, but we'll see. Actually, hold on, let me see if I can find his name. Simeon Thomas on injury reserve. Mike Ledke is his name. He's on injury reserve. Ryan B is actually on injury reserve as well for the rest of the season. So that's about it. So, all right, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about the roster picks. Did Ron make the right moves? Is there anything that you would change? I know everybody loves Cam Sims. They probably wanted him to be on the roster, but that's just not how it went out. He really likes Isaiah Wright, and he said he's probably not going to pick up another wide receiver in free agency right now. So I am a little disappointed in that. Thought we could have used Mohamed Sanu. I've seen a lot of haters on Mohamed Sanu, but Mohamed Sanu was playing really well with the Falcons last year. He was on pace for 800 yards before he went to the Patriots. And people forget that he got injured and broke his foot on running a punt back or something like that. He got injured towards the end of the season with the Patriots. And Tom Brady was an old man. He was a statue, and he's clearly declining. So don't hate on Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu would definitely help this roster out, in my opinion. I think he's better than AGG right now. He's probably better than Isaiah Wright. He's probably better than Dontrell Inman. So Mohamed Sanu definitely would help. A one-year deal, in my opinion, wouldn't hurt, and it definitely would help out a young quarterback in Dwayne Haskins, who is familiar with Mohamed Sanu, and, he calls him his uncle. They worked out together, and Mohamed Sanu is good for trick plays, too. He can throw the football. So I wouldn't be mad at that move. But all right, y'all, hail to the football team. Peace.